Big right hand by Mayweather. It's just a matter of how much more of this could he take. 3, 4.
Openings from a distance.
That right hand is landing very accurately now from Broner. Nice short left.
Was landing a clean, effective blows. Then as the round goes on, here comes Margarito with this sort of accumulation of punches where eventually he started penetrating and landing his shots. Rough round to score.
There's her dreaming down the left eye. That may have been caused by that right. Belts away from Andrew Maloney. Oh, he snapped his head back. Franco does damage to Maloney. Of Andrew.
What's going on, y'all? Carlito here, back with another video on your screen. I'm here with legend, ECW Legend, held all the titles. You know, it's my great pleasure to introduce Just Incredible PJ. Man, it's an extreme honor to have you on my show. And man, I'm so hyped, bro. Tell me, how are you doing, man? How is your family?
Thank you for having me first and foremost. Man, we're hanging in there. We're doing okay, man. We've had a couple of challenges. Not me personally, but my wife has been. She got into a bit of an accident where she had a seizure and fell. With the fall, she completely, because when you have a seizure, you lose consciousness. She fell literally face first on the concrete coming out of a store. So she was in the hospital in intensive care for about 5 days. And, still, that was about 3 months ago, and still dealing with some fallout from that. Like, she has a hard time balancing, and she still can't drive because of her vision. But we've been managing, and things are going to be back to normal soon. But other than that, things have been good, man.
That's good, bro. That's good. So my first question, what made you want to be a wrestler?
I was just always such a big fan of the business, but I remember, because I was doing it in the backyard. Like, I graduated high school in '91, so I came up in the old WCW, NWA days, like the Flair days and Dusty days, and after I graduated high school, I was working at a grocery store, just bagging groceries, making extra money and stuff. And during break, you would get, 15 minutes, whatever, grab a soda, go to the bathroom. And then I'd go to the magazine section and I'd read the wrestling magazines. And as I was reading the wrestling magazines, because back then there's no internet, the business was still very closed off. You had to know somebody to get into wrestling, really. And I stumbled upon an advertisement for the Hart Brothers Pro Wrestling Camp, a full page advertisement in the back of like a Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So I was like, wow, this is an opportunity. I wasn't going to go to college, or I didn't have plans to at the time. I took a year off. My plan was I was thinking to take a year off. So when I saw this article, it was, I spoke to Brett's older brother, Bruce Hart, and Keith Hart as well. And they told me, $3,000, and come up to Calgary. So my mom helped me take out a student loan kind of a thing. And about 8 months later, I went out to Calgary to learn how to be a pro wrestler.
Wow, I did not know that, bro. You worked out at the dungeon.
Yeah.
Real dope, man.
Yeah, I went to the same academy, same place as Chris Jericho and Lance Storm. Actually, Lance was there the year before. I think the year before me, the camp before me, and Lance actually ended up sticking around out there to help the Hearts with the training. So really, Lance was the first person I'd ever been in the ring with, and we was really my trainer. Because the Hearts would train you, but they weren't getting in the ring with you. They like more talk. So yeah. Lance did all the physical stuff, and so really Lance really did a lot for my training up there.
That's real dope, man.
Man.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
That's nice, I didn't know you and Lance go way back that far.
Yeah, he was the first person I'd ever met in this business. Yeah.
That's nice, bro. So what can you tell me about the old ECW days?
Yeah, man, it was a very, very cool time to be in the business. So much exciting stuff happening. And I was with the WWF at the time. as Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese Man of War. And you know, Vince had given me a great opportunity. I'd been there since 1994 under contract, and you know, I asked Vince, you know, if I could change characters, if I could do a bunch of other stuff. He really, you know, he didn't have a lot for me. So finally, I went up to Vince and I asked Vince in a meeting that I had asked for if he could let me go, give me my release. The reason being that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who I was good friends with and, you know, used to travel with back in the day, they just went to WCW to do the NWO gimmick. And they're like, man, you know, we're in Bischoff's ear. We can get you down here, get you a nice contract, whatever. And I was like, hell yeah. So, you know, since Vince wasn't doing anything with me, I asked for my release. And he says, PJ, I cannot do that. He goes, it's going to look bad if all of my wrestlers start to go to WCW, because at the time, WCW was really winning and becoming the bigger promotion at the time, before the, like right before the Monday Night Wars took off. And but Vince did say, well, what I'll do is I'll send you to Jerry Lawler's territory in Memphis to learn how to work as a heel, because I'd been a baby face the whole time. And you know, and then when you're done, we'll bring you back up to the WWF, you know, as a heel with a totally different character. Well, I was down there for 6 weeks wrestling, and ECW was down there doing an angle with Jerry Lawler, Sabu, Van Dam, Dreamer, Sandman, and Heyman. All those guys were down there. So basically, long story short, I hooked up with ECW and Paul Heyman, and Paul went to Vince and basically got my release to ECW, you know, in condition that I wouldn't go to WCW. So really, in a way, Vince just kind of, you know, gave the remainder of my contract over to Paul, which eventually led, when that contract expired, me signing with ECW's exclusively. But man, ECW was just so much good stuff happening there. I mean, things were just so revolutionary, so different. I mean, we really were doing stuff on a different level in those days, you know, kind of reminiscent of what AEW was doing, just different kind of, not, you know, our style was different, but I'm saying the vibe of this is just something cool and different, you know. It was a great time in the business, you know, it really was.
Wow, man, I bet it was fast paced every time.
Every time, man. I mean, you know, the fans were so hype. I mean, they were the first crowd that really kind of were almost like they were like their stars too. They were like half of the, you know, they were, if without the fans, the show would not have been how it is. That's why I think the shows the past couple of weeks now, that the pandemic thing is slowly getting by and we have fans in the buildings again, that really has helped the product, right? And you know, we're seeing that, you know, wrestling is better with a full packed house. And that's how it was in ECW, just having those rabid fans with the chants and all that cool stuff. They helped make ECW, you know, so they were real important to our success.
Oh, for real, man. I remember seeing a lot of the wrestling shows, the ECW shows. My brother, what you know, I was a big WWF fan, so I really never watched ECW until like my brother and my next door neighbor at the time sat me down and watched ECW, like I think it was Monday night or a Thursday night show or on TNT.
Yep.
And I just saw the introduction. I'm like, oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn, they do all this. And then they showed me the cover of RVD of when he broke his leg. When
Oh
he
yeah.
The little flip in the air, the spinning heel kick.
Yep.
I was like, damn, bro, like this is an event. It seems like every minute of it. And you know, and it brings me to my next question is, when I actually got a chance to meet you in TWA, Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And my brother was part of the ring crew, and
Okay.
he told me, oh yeah, you know, we picked up, he didn't tell me who y'all were going, he was going to go pick up, but he said he went to go pick up, he's on his way to go pick up somebody at the airport. And I'm like, damn, who is it? And he was like, from ECW. I'm like, damn. And then he didn't tell me until I got to the show it was you. Because
Oh, okay.
at that time I didn't pay attention to any posters or anything. It was barely any,
Right.
nothing really social media,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, dude. And I think you had the tag team title at the time.
I did. Yes. Yep. I brought it with me. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. That was a great time, man. That was what a hell of a camp. This was a period of time where Sean, he was out of the WWE. He had stopped wrestling for a little bit because of his back.
Yeah.
So Sean and I were good friends, still are to this day. And he's like, I got a school down here, come down, stay at my house for like a week, and help out, which I did. And it was great. I mean, Daniel Bryan was down there. So many other guys were training. I mean, who would have thought, right? Like so many legendary dudes were down there. A couple other guys were down there. One of them died, didn't they? Lance Cade.
Lance Cade, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away. He was another guy, a lot of potential. But yeah, that was a really fun time in wrestling. Like back then, man, who would have thought Shawn Michaels would have a little indie federation in San Antonio? That was pretty dope.
I was always so hyped to go to the shows on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And, sit behind the commentators table.
Yeah.
At that time, man, and I still am. That's why I got Shawn Michaels. I got that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
I've had that since early 20s. And I was a big fan, and I was probably crying my eyes out when Shawn got back in the ring.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because he had that match with Paul Diamond, right? He had the mask, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I won the title and then I gave it to Shawn.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm not mistaken. Those are good times.
You're like,
yeah.
I can't defend it. I got other allegations.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Remembering all those days, I was just telling my brother that who I'm gonna have a chance to interview, and that's you. And I was just like, remember all those old school days, man? Remember when you came to TWA? He was like, oh shit, hell yeah. You're living all those moments, bro. And,
yeah, those are good times, man.
Man, what's one of the craziest injuries you had being a pro wrestler?
I've been really lucky, dude. I've never knock on wood, I've never broken a bone in my life. So yeah, I've been really lucky. Nothing too bad. Well, the worst thing I could say is I've had a lot of concussions, like too many. So I would say the worst one would be, and in all things considered, isn't really that bad. I was wrestling Jerry Lynn, and I took like a power bomb off the top rope, and I guess the back of my head kind of like basketballed off the mat, and I was knocked out for a good 5 minutes, and then after that, I couldn't see straight for weeks. I was puking. And wrestling like that too, Paulie only let me take a day off, which was effed up. You're not supposed to do that, but in those days, it's kind of what they did. But I would say that was the worst, which, like I said, it's not great, but it's not also that bad. You know what I mean? I guess that's more of a long-term damage with CT and stuff that could happen. But, yeah, I've been pretty blessed though. I mean, this October is going to be 30 years, my 30-year anniversary from when I went to Calgary and started to wrestle. So it's been a crazy ride, man. 30 years just like that, been blessed.
That's so dope, bro. Like 30 years in October. Are you still doing like indie shows or?
Yeah. Yep, I'm still doing them. I mean, I've slowed down a lot as far as, what I do in the ring. I mean, I'm still fairly healthy, though. I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48 in October. I'm around Jericho's age because Jericho started around the same time, like I said, the Calgary thing, and he just did his 30 years. So, if I got in physical shape and if there was an opportunity, which I'm not looking for one, I'm done with wrestling on that level. But I'll always do it. I'll always get in the ring on the indie level. I think, A, for a side hustle, and B, I love it. This is what we do, right?
I'ma chug the bottle, chug it all the way. Made it this far.